In this video, we're going to be answering the question, does in take the dative or the accusative? Let's find out. Los geht's. Herzlich willkommen zurück zu Coffee Break German. Ich bin Marc.
Und ich bin Andrea.
And as I said, we're answering a question from our listener Michelle. Michelle wants to know, does in, the preposition in German, take the accusative or the dative case? Andrea, it's not quite as easy as all that. There's not a
No,
clear answer
unfortunately
here.
not, because in is a Wechselpräposition, so it takes both or one of them depending on the situation.
Okay, so let us think about an example here where we could have exactly the same sentence, but both with a dative and an accusative.
Yes, so my favorite example for this is the verb tanzen.
Okay,
Yeah?
to dance.
And let's see if you spot the difference.
Okay, so
Okay?
I've got something prepared earlier here. So here are two beautiful halls with chandeliers and music playing in them, okay?
Aha, exactly. So das ist ein Saal. Ein Saal, so we can say it's maybe a ballroom.
Ballroom.
Yeah. And in the first picture, I would say, sie tanzt in dem Saal.
Okay.
Oder
so,
sie tanzt im Saal, but in dem Saal.
so she's moving around inside the ballroom, but she's dancing in the ballroom. So let's write this
Genau.
out. So sie tanzt, and then you said,
In dem,
okay, and we'll correct that in a moment, in dem Saal.
Genau.
So we can make in dem into im, can't we?
genau, das ist richtig.
So we'll take out in dem and just make it im. So sie tanzt im Saal. She's dancing around inside the ballroom. Okay?
Genau, das ist super, ja? And now to the next picture.
Okay.
Sie tanzt in den Saal.
Right. So in this one, she's going to be dancing into the ballroom. She's starting outside the ballroom and she's dancing into the ballroom. So sie tanzt in den Saal, using the accusative there. So let's see, this is dative
Genau.
and this is accusative. So we'll just write ACC for accusative there. So dative, sie tanzt im Saal, and accusative, sie tanzt in den Saal, because there's a change of location in her dancing, isn't there?
Genau. So when we use the dative, all takes place in the same place, in the Saal, in this example. And when we use the accusative, there is a change of location. So she was, at the beginning of her dancing, she was not in the Saal, but she dances into the Saal.
Excellent. Okay. So far, so good. Let's look at a couple of other examples. I don't think we need full drawings for this one. Just let's take some other examples here.
Yeah, so it's the same principle, actually. So, ich renne in der Stadt.
So ich renne in der Stadt, you said?
Ja, in der Stadt. Das ist die Stadt und der Dative ist der. Ja, ich renne in der Stadt.
So this is a dative.
So you can imagine me running around in the city.
Yep, okay.
Ja.
And the other
And
possibility would
when
be,
we use the accusative, we would say, ich renne in die Stadt.
so ich renne in die Stadt. And in that situation, perhaps you're starting in the countryside and that you're running into the city. There's a change of location.
Genau, das ist richtig, Marc. Sehr gut, super.
So this one's dative and this one's accusative. Ich renne in der Stadt versus ich renne in die Stadt. Let's look at one more example.
So I'm going to use an example where the verb changes to. Das Buch liegt im Schrank.
Das Buch liegt im Schrank, you said?
Ja,
Im
so that's the dative.
Schrank. Yes. So the book is lying in the cupboard.
Genau, ja. Und der zweite Satz ist, er legt das Buch in den Schrank.
Right, so legt das Buch in den Schrank. So in this
Genau,
case,
richtig.
he is putting the book into the cupboard.
Genau, richtig.
Okay, so how would you translate legt exactly?
So it's like he's lying the book into the cupboard or he's putting the book into the cupboard.
Okay, so it's clear then, when we're talking about within a place, so she's dancing in the ballroom, I'm running around in the city, or the book is in the cupboard, that is when we use the dative each time. Okay, so dative there. But when the in means into, when there's a change of location, so she's dancing into the ballroom from out with the ballroom. I am running into the town from the outlying village or something like that, and we're putting the book into the cupboard, then that's when we've got accusatives. So in den Saal, in die Stadt, in den Schrank. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
well done. Sehr gut, Marc. Bravo.
Thank you, Michelle, for asking a very tricky question, but we've enjoyed explaining that. And if you've got a question like Michelle, then don't hesitate to get in touch. You can simply head over to coffeebreakquestions.com, where you can leave a question and we'll be able to hopefully include that in a future episode of the show. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, if you've found it useful, if it's helped you understand the difference between using the dative and the accusative within, then give it a like and subscribe to our channel, and that way you'll see all the new content that we're going to be posting here on the Coffee Break Languages channel.
And if you have any questions or maybe comments, just post these below in the comment section.
Also das reicht für heute. Vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bis bald!
Tschüss.